Welcome, everybody. This is your girl Erica from the Classy Con blog. You know what we do on Tuesdays for the past 3 years? It is Tech Tuesday. And actually, it's almost been 4 years. And so we have to salute one of our original guests that you guys always ask about. And I tell you, she's traveling the world. She's a lady of Carmen San Diego. She's out here living her life, y'all. That's what tech allows you to do. And so I want to introduce to you guys who are new and who are joining us, Kimmoy Matthews. Introduce yourself to the audience, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Has it really been 4 years?
Nah, you've been on the show before. You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
was
Like
like,
we've been doing
what?
Tech Tuesdays for 4 years.
Oh.
You were original
um,
kickoff guest.
all right. Yeah, excited to be here. I've been in tech for many years. I've been doing technical writing, UX writing, content design, content strategy. It's definitely changed over the years, but I've been doing it for more than 10 years. So I think it's 12. I stopped counting.
So, tell us what has that allowed you? First, we're going to describe what it is, but how has tech allowed you to kind of travel, live your life, move around? How has it helped you?
It has allowed me to have the flexibility to work from wherever I want to, work from
Mhm.
home before it was popular, before COVID. I get to work on really cool technologies. So, working with big tech giants like AT&T, Best Buy, Google. I've worked in so many different industries, so it's not just like tech specific. I feel like
Mhm.
tech is not really an industry. Like all
Yeah.
industries have technology.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, when it comes to using technology, people need to understand how to use it. Somebody needs to explain how it works, and that's where tech writers come in. So, uh, yeah, it's I have the flexibility to travel, like I mentioned. I'm not afraid to say I make good money, so I'm able to invest in things that I want to invest in. I'm able to have experiences that I want to experience.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's a great career to get into because as tech change, your career will also change to adapt. So, if you like learning new things, if you like collaborating with people, um, it's a great field. There's so many skills that you learn, and based on what you like doing, you could find something. There's
Yeah,
something for everyone
for
in.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I as much as people love to talk about entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
I think one of the quickest ways to the bag is to get a high paying job, and most
Yeah.
of us have skills that we can do. There's some job out there that could help you with that, so help you with your goals.
And so always disclaimer, you guys, I'm actually a tech salesperson in a cybersecurity company here in Austin, Texas. So I know people are like, but Ericka, you're a business owner. And I'm like, yes, one of the easiest ways to cross laterally show your skills is a job, on average is going to pay you 120, etc. It's for this city. Every city's different. But explain to people who are new here, who are like, hey, I want to be a UX or UI writer. Like, explain to them what that even is for them to even say, like, I want to do that.
Okay. So I'll talk about technical writing first.
Okay.
So I think it's like the older trade, if you will. So
Hmm.
when you think about manuals, how-to articles, any kind of like instructional type of content. So whether it's for your computer, your refrigerator, your software application, there's usually instructions that come along with that. So that's what a technical writer will do. You don't have to actually have experience in the product or the software that you're writing about. The title is a bit misleading. So,
Hmm.
technical means really instructional. That's like how I like to describe it.
Right.
So, for example, I have been hired to work for finance companies, advertising companies, e commerce companies. I have no background in any of those fields.
Right.
But what I know how to do is explain things in layman's terms. I can talk to people, I can talk to all the subject matter experts, tell them to explain it to me in layman's terms, and I can write it out plain and simple to help people use a product. So that's technical writing in a nutshell. Now, user experience writing. So this is the newer form of this career path.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like the micro copy. So the smaller text fields when you're filling out a form online, when you're using your app on your phone, like the copy is much smaller. It's not really instructions, but it gives you information about it so that
Mm-hmm.
you are 100% clear on what to do next. So if you open up your Uber app, for example, you know exactly where to put in your location. You know exactly how much it's going to cost. You know what time your driver is going to come, because all of those words on the screen are there telling you exactly what's happening. So that is what a UX writer will work on. Sometimes it will do in some instructional content, like maybe a support article.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really the everyday things that you use. Anytime you open up a screen, a computer, your phone, a UX writer helped to design that experience for you. And typically you're working with a designer. So a designer would create the visual parts of it. So they will make the button blue, they will make the background white, they will
Mm.
make the menu, look a certain way. But as far as any words that's on the screen, that's what a UX writer does. And then content design. So some companies use the terms interchangeably. So a UX writer and a content designer might be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it like, so for example, with Best Buy, I am designing an experience for Best Buy members.
Right.
So from the time you become a member, all the things that you see, all the deals that you see, to when you cancel your membership, all of the words that you see, I play a part in that. So I'm designing an experience on the app. So yeah, that's kind of the difference between the three in a nutshell.
Okay, okay, I like it. I like it. You guys listen. I've met this woman in DC. I met her in other places. You know, she was dancing on stage with Beyonce yesterday. I heard, saw her on the big screen. Um, why do they allow UX and UI writers to be remote? Why are you guys allowed to be remote, or why is it profitable? I guess for the companies to let you be remote.
Because the product is digital,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to be in person to connect with anyone. You're literally designing what's on a screen. So
Oh.
there's not like a product to touch. There's no client to really wine and dine per se. It's
Mm-hmm.
the actual product. And then, yeah, it's all the products are digital. I mean, you're either working on a website
Mm-hmm.
or a mobile app.
Yeah.
It's all digital. So yeah, that's why it's remote. And this is super valuable. Companies pay UX writers, content designers higher on the scale, because if nobody knows how to use their product, if nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows how to use Zoom or use the Apple app or use a banking app or anything, they're not going to make any money. So somebody needs to make it easy to use. So that's why it's super valuable. I'm sure many of you guys watching, you've used the app and you're like, why did they put the button over here? Or why did this message say that? Or why is this error message telling me it's my fault? Like, this is so stupid. Like, those kinds of experiences you have, there's someone behind it,
Right.
and companies want that experience to be as seamless as possible. They don't want you to feel stuck on an app, because if people attention span is getting shorter and shorter,
7 seconds.
you start, let's say Cash App or whatever. If Cash App was not easy to use, they wouldn't be where they are today, right? If it
Mm-hmm.
was so hard to figure out your contacts, and if it was so hard to figure out how much should I pay this person, and it confirmed that it actually went through, if it was difficult, you wouldn't use it. So that's why it's a super valuable career.
Kamoy, I've seen you teaching for years now, and it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things I really enjoy. One of the things I've oh Lord, the comments y'all are cracking me up already. Okay, I'll share some of them.
Oh
Okay,
wait, how do I
here we
see the
go.
comments?
Oh, you can't see
Oh,
the.
okay. Oh yeah, I
Can you
see
see
it.
it? Okay. So first person said UX designers for IG need to tighten up.
Facts. Okay, yeah, we could talk about that because we're always on Instagram, right?
Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like Instagram has turned into like this cybersecurity app. Like, everybody is getting hacked, and all people that I follow is always asking me to report the hackers. I'm like, I didn't come on this app to
To
report
report.
hackers. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So that experience that users are having is frustrating.
Hmm.
So if they were to like increase their cybersecurity, that will make the user experience much better, you know? Or if they allow the actual person that's creating content on Instagram to report their own
Yeah.
uh, spam, fake accounts and stuff, that would be a better user experience. Or if it was an easier way for them to verify who they are
Hmm.
besides a check. Like these are the kinds of experiences that take place that UX designers will work on.
For sure. Also, I've been asking everybody that's been lately, the Tech Tuesday guest, what's your thoughts on GMM Graham? Can I talk? MGM Graham, the hacking that went with them in Caesar Palace in Las Vegas.
Oh wow, man, I'm out of the loop. I didn't
It's
know about
okay.
the
It was bad.
hack.
It was okay. So I'll give you the update. It's okay.
Okay.
We've been talking about it with every guest. So basically, the hackers came and told Caesar's Palace and told MGM Grand at the same time, hey, look, give us 10 mil. If you don't give it, really 30 mil. If you don't give us 30 mil, we're gonna hack you. Caesar Palace said,
Mm,
hey, here's 15 mil, chill out. But they had already gotten to people's social security numbers, their children's birthdates, they already got half of it. They already got it.
wow.
Right. Well, then MG Graham's like, we ain't playing. No. And they shut the whole thing down. And they make 15 million a day off their slot machines. So not only were
Okay.
their slot machines down in Las Vegas, they were down in Detroit and they were down in Atlantic City. And there
Wow.
was no kind of like switch over, or what Chris Johnson said was a hot switch or whatever, another location site or something. And basically, not only did it mess up that, they can't see their 401ks, they can't see their work
Yeah.
schedules. They're like, you're going to get your paycheck. And they're like, yeah, we got our paychecks, but we can't see our nothing in the back office. And so I just tell people, I'm like, I always ask each tech person, what do you think is going to happen over there? And like, is it an overhaul, or are they just going to hire all new people? What's going to happen at those
Yeah.
places?
That's a cybersecurity issue. And I guess the reason why the company paid the 15 million is because they probably did some math, like to actually hire a cybersecurity team to tackle that versus paying these guys. But you never negotiate with terrorists, right? So
Never.
that's a huge business problem if they even start doing that. That's a problem. So yeah, they're gonna have to hire that hacker.
Like, listen, come
If
in.
they could do that, yeah, they're gonna have to pay one way or another.
Well, they were telling people on staff you need to get life alert because your information is just out there. I was like,
Yeah.
yikes. So I've been asking everybody their take on it. Here is tech is real. I got offered a 195K job today for a big data job. Congratulations.
Nice. Congrats.
Bob said, is UI UX design intertwined with a UX writer? I think you
Yes.
kind of answered it, but yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
He said, always read the instructions. Half the problems are solved if you do this. I keep relearning this. Every video I see on Instagram is somebody throwing the instructions in the trash and then having to stick their head back in the trash to get the instructions.
Yeah, a lot of people don't read instructions. And I think probably people, actually, let's address that. So a lot of people are concerned because people don't read nowadays. So what's the point of creating this kind of content? A designer, a good tech writer, I should say, not only writes instructions, we also design it as well. So it could be visual. Like I've produced videos that help people learn how to do something.
Right.
So you could be hired to work on instructional videos as well. You would write the scripts or audio. So whatever format people are more attuned to, like consuming content, that's typically where UX designers and UX writers will work. So, but the written content will always be there. It's just the way that we communicate. We send emails, we send DMs, we send texts all day, every day. So the written form is not going to go anywhere. And yeah, a lot of it is we have to be mindful of the audience too. So that's why we see from back in the days, can't believe I'm saying that, where manuals were like pages long, right? You would go to a website and you would have to download a PDF with instructions. Now it's more like a help center article that's like 10 steps max,
Yeah.
let's try to get it as short as possible. And then now it's more like micro copy, like little bits of instructions along the way, so you don't have to read a big block of text. So yeah.
I
And
would think it's to
companies
prevent.
like Instagram, it's hard to find their help center. Like it's
Right.
not easy. So that's why a lot of YouTubers and other people create videos on how to create a
Mm-hmm.
story or how to
Mm-hmm.
make your create a poll on Instagram and all these different things, because there's actually the help center itself is not easy to find once
Right.
you're logged in. If
Mm-hmm.
you're logged out, which most people are not logged out, it's easier to find, but it's hard to find. So shoot, Instagram needs to hire me.
They need to do a couple things. I would say even why do we have instructions? Lawsuits. I didn't know
Yes.
how to use
Oh,
this. I
yes.
didn't know to boil the noodles 9 minutes. I didn't know to put the
Facts.
pocket knife away the right way. I didn't like
Yes.
I bought a pocket knife, and tell me why I had instructions. But it was like closing it the proper way, and I was like, you know why? Somebody sued. Somebody sued.
It's true. And
That's what
actually,
happened.
that's one of the challenges I have personally in my career is I have to work with lawyers. So I'm never working by myself, right? I'm working with designers, I'm working with product managers, the people that come up with all the fancy features. And then there's legal. And they have to make sure that we're not making any false promises, that people are protected, that in case there's a lawsuit. So some of those things, I can't say, oh, this is going to be free when it's not really free,
Right.
So yeah, that's super important. So yeah, disclaimers out the wazoo.
Okay, it says, do you know copyright or SEO?
I do, but typically that's not part of the role. I mean, some companies will hire a copywriter to do specifically like sales copy and making sure the categories and tags and all that stuff. But that's a little bit different. What I'm talking about is more like the corporate companies that have websites, applications, apps. But they do have SEO teams. But
That's a whole job in itself.
It's a whole job in and of itself, for sure. Yeah. When I worked at AT&T, for example, I had to know some tags and SEO stuff to help make their help center easier to find content. So, but it's not necessary. It's good to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
This person said, is this something that someone can do part-time?
Good question. So let's see. Like, how do I say this? So I'm sure you guys have heard of people who do, what is it called? The
overworking,
yeah,
or something
so
to that
it's
effect.
possible. It just depends on how meeting heavy the company is, like what the culture is like.
Right.
If you're always in meetings, looking at product design, stuff that's coming out, you probably won't be able to do 2 jobs at once. So it just depends. I will say for beginners, it's easier to get the part-time work. So like with smaller companies. But the larger corporations that are paying the big bucks, they usually want you there full time.
Okay. And so are they kind of like contracts? Are they like 90 days, 60 days?
Yeah. So you get the W-2 and you also get the contracts. So I've had several contracts throughout my career. So it's pretty flexible. So you could do part-time, full-time, contract. I see more opportunities in full-time and contract.
Gotcha.
But that's because that's what I'm looking for. I don't necessarily like freelancing,
Right.
But the opportunities are definitely there. For example, I think it was like a 3-month contract where I could work my own hours with the credit union, and they've hired me multiple times. So I set my own schedule. But yeah, as far as like per hour type stuff, like freelance, the opportunities are there. And that's where I would recommend beginners to go, like go on Upwork or some of the remote job boards, like startup companies, and see if you could find part-time opportunities there. But when I'm talking about like Airbnb, Facebook, Meta, Apple, like Amazon, they're hiring full time.
Okay, got you. Okay. Let me see. Y'all had a couple more here. Here's another one. How would someone with customer service and sales experience fit with tech and no degree?
Okay, so I would say customer success roles, that's actually a thing. So any company that you want to look up, they have a customer success team. So that's typically if someone has an issue with something, they will call in and be like, how do I fix this? So the tech writer actually writes the instructions for the customer success team, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like those two go hand in hand. If you have customer service experience, then get into customer success roles. If you have sales experience, which is the best experience to have, you could pick your gold mine. Like
Mhm.
sales is it pays extremely well. So
It
it could
does.
be tech sales, sales engineering, um, account executive. What else do they call it? Those are like
SDR roles. You
yeah,
have
sales development, business
yeah.
development roles. Yeah, those are the ones for if you have sales experience.
Mhm.
And typically, you would need to take some kind of certification program on the sales side, unless you could actually. It depends on how you sell your
On
skill.
Yeah, they got on the job training for a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah,
3-week boot camps in the
exactly.
office, and then you can go be remote. That's
Yeah,
just what, that's what I've experienced. So
yeah.
everybody's
So
different.
those are actually really great skills to have. You don't need to have a degree for those. It's just a matter of when you have customer service, you want to talk about how much time you've saved the company, how
Mhm.
many problems you've solved. When it comes to sales, of course, talk about those dollars, how much you generated,
Mhm.
you know, customer retention, acquisition, all those key metrics.
She said she has her first interview with HubSpot for customer success job.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
That's a good
Uh,
company.
Someone said, "What is a technical volume writer?"
Hmm. I
Mm,
don't know.
I know. Where'd you find that title? I was gonna, because what I was gonna do is show you. Somebody said my vision is to be a UX UI sound designer.
Okay, that's
Interesting.
very specific. I
Very
guess
specific.
working in the audio industry, maybe.
That's supposed to be what it is. I
Yeah,
was going to show you guys Indeed just to show an example of I just literally typed in tech writer and 19 jobs popped up because I could write UX, I could write different things, but I just did this. And so this person's a technical writer. They're going to get paid basically $5,000 to $7,000 a month.
yeah,
You have this person over here, technical writer. Let me go down some more. Proposal writer, right? It falls under a couple different categories, but here you go. This one is health technical writer,
right.
documentation specialist.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah. Those are some other terms too.
hmm
Documentation specialist. Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
So
Okay,
those are really good opportunities.
okay. And then I just always do it because people will be like, "Well, I don't know." I'm like, "Look for it, look for it."
Yeah.
You have CMC, regulatory technical writer, right?
hmm
So
Yeah.
that's might
And
be a
trust me,
long
the
one.
finance company I worked for was a regulatory agency. I had no background in that stuff. But listen, I was able to still get that job. So,
You got technical editor, Apple Care service content. We got a technical writer for guess what?
that's,
Tesla
of course.
Cybertruck. I'm like, as soon as they put the Cybertruck, I'm like, man, we ain't listen. People talk about scams. Y'all put money on them Cybertrucks about 4 years ago. We ain't seen them Cybertrucks yet.
So true.
Cybertrucks is coming. I'm like, all right.
Man, whatever happened to that guy? What was his name? Nicola?
Who? Nikola Tesla
There
or
was
Elon
some
Musk?
guy who was launching Cybertrucks and he was gonna revolutionize the trucking industry. I gotta look him up.
Technical writer, remote cognitive medical systems. Technical writer again, Texas Comp Controller of Public Accountants. You're ensuring documentation is written properly and meets agency standards.
Standards, yeah.
Um, Again, more 50 to 60 bucks an hour. So is that common? Because I've got videos of you to pass $45 to $90. What's the common pay range for a technical writer?
All right, I have a slide that talks about it. So
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this, and then you go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to show the um
Somebody said it's been a minute since Kamoy's been on here. She been out living her life in the real world. Welcome back. Listen, you've been gone so long. Ant has transferred from Cleveland, Ohio to Houston, Texas, and he's on his second tech job.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy. Congrats.
congratulations. Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Here we go.
Just hit present. It'll do it.
Where is the present button? Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I got the right slide.
Somebody said thanks for the good info. They said somebody said good luck with the interview. Thanks, girly. Okay. You guys are chatting up with you. You guys drop a one in the comments if you're enjoying the content so far that we are bringing to you. You know, you guys, I had to lure in. I'd be like, hey, come on back over. Kamoy be living her best life, and I love it. I love it. Every time I look on Instagram, she's somewhere in another country.
Wait, hold on. I can't. Okay, there we go. I have it now. All right. So present.
Mm-hmm.
Share screen. Dang, it's asking a lot of questions. Okay. See, another user experience issue.
Right? Look, StreamYard. There's somebody else who they got a better StreamYard choice. I'm gonna click add to stage. Is it ready? Okay, I'm gonna click add to stage. Is that what you want? Okay, there you go.
Okay, so yeah, I have this slide just comparing the salaries from just 2021. So like literally right after the pandemic. So for a tech writer, for little to no experience, around 62,000. If you had some experience, it was around 78, and then more experience around 90,000. Now, this is what the salaries are looking like for 2023. So as a beginner, so I think what is 50 per hour? So literally, Microsoft reached out today for a copywriting position. They were paying 50 an hour. And that was for entry level. I mean, it wasn't for me, but so like 100 to 115, and then some experience. And I think this could be on the higher end too. It just depends on how you sell your skills. Mm-hmm. So, and this is from Robert Half. So that you could check out the salary guides to verify the information I'm presenting. So yeah. I just want to talk about some of the skills that you need. Mm-hmm. So number one is being able to simplify information. Gotcha. And it sounds easy to do, but it's actually not. So I think this is probably the top skill. And then the top right, understanding the user. So figuring out who it is that you're talking to. So the way that you talk to your grandma on how to set up Netflix is different than how you would talk to a developer that's going to build a video platform that pulls Netflix videos, right? It's going to change the way you talk to them. So this, I think, is what has helped me the most in my career is no matter if I don't know the technology, I can learn that. But once I go in to the company and I'm like, tell me everything about the user. Who is it that you're really trying to target? What do you want them to do? What do they think? Do you have research? Like this is a sweet spot as far as how I've been able to land really great contracts. And then thinking about what users are actually going to do on the app or on the website. Like after they fill out their information, what are they going to do next? You know, where do they go after that? Where do you want them to click? What information do they need to know at this moment? We can't bombard them with information, you know? And then content needs, again, this is where you don't give people too much information when they don't need it. So if I log into a new app, I don't want you to give me a whole legal disclaimer right then and there. Let me at least get acclimated first. Mm-hmm. So things like that. And then asking questions. Those people who have been ridiculed as kids maybe for always asking questions, it's pretty valuable now because the more you ask, the better of a writer and designer you can be. So, yeah. And again, just want to touch base real quick that these are the skills that you don't need. You don't need to know how to program. You don't need to have a technical background. You don't need a technical degree. No special software or anything. People always ask me about these special software. I haven't ever used a special software authoring tool and stuff like that. I've worked for top companies and we use Google Docs, Microsoft Word. Okay. Like, I know there are other companies that have all these specialized software, but I don't work for them. I am able to communicate my thoughts pretty simply in a basic way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't want to like take over and do a whole webinar, but
No, go ahead. Listen, flow, educate.
yeah,
Don't let us.
yeah, just trying to like share some helpful stuff.
For
So
sure.
yeah, I'll stop sharing for now. Let's see if there's any more questions. But
Okay,
yeah.
Woodcock said, "Good to see you, Miss Kamoy. Thanks for making the course available."
Yeah, absolutely.
We had just got promoted as an account manager at my ed tech firm. Ericka, thanks for all you do. For sure. Any questions, you guys, bring them in here. This is a good time to ask them, because I think a lot of people don't even know what are the titles of some of these careers.
I know. And I
that's
think
probably
really
a big
you just start with the skills that you have or the
Mhm.
experience that you have. So you don't even have to get into technical writing if you don't want to. If
Mhm.
your whole career if you've been a trucker, for example,
Mhm.
You've used some GPS systems. There's a software there that you've used. Those companies hire people. Like if you could find a tech company that specializes in transportation, you could leverage your trucking experience.
Right.
If you've worked in, let's say someone mentioned customer service your whole life, you can translate those skills into a customer success role. So it's just based on the skills and experience you have. If you've always worked in healthcare, then look for a health tech industry to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the easiest career change.
Right.
I think people, when they want to change careers, they want to do like this drastic change.
Right.
And it's harder that way. It's possible, but it's just harder. So if you can make it easier on yourself and just kind of get your foot in the door based on the experience you already have, then do that. And then maybe do like a quick little certificate to then transition. But I think it's better to get paid top dollar for your current skills. Like that's my whole goal.
Right.
If you work for a mom and pop shop for $10, $15 an hour, I need you to use those skills and get paid 4, 5, 10x times that doing the same thing for a bigger company.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to, in this economy,
work in your powerhouse, work within your will of what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the biggest things is people are like, how can I prove that I know what I'm doing? And one of your things I liked about you is you taught people how to create a portfolio. Could you go a little bit into that?
Yeah, I think that's been my secret sauce as well. And honestly, it's never been super fancy. Because people are visual. I could talk to you guys all day long, but if I put a presentation together, you're going to pay attention a little bit more.
I like this picture. It's cracking me up.
That was taken in Argentina, by the way.
Listen, y'all should be out there.
But I think having a really simple portfolio, even if it's just a screenshot of something that you wrote, even if it's just 1 page long, and you explain to the person, this is who I was writing for, this was the issue they were having, this is why I created the article, this is how it helped them, that will do wonders in an interview. Because you're explaining how you think, how you work, and you have something visual they can look at. So in my course, I give my students 4 or 5 different formats that they can use to share their content. And I give you tips on like what to include in your portfolio. And I always tell my students to leverage your existing jobs. Even if you didn't create it while you work there, you can create it now. Just create a sample of what you think it should be and use that for your portfolio. Because creating a portfolio of like fake projects, if you will, I see a lot of boot camps encouraging people to create fake projects. I think those work, but it's more powerful if you create something that's relevant to your actual experience, your previous jobs.
Here's the best part. Do you help with LinkedIn profiles, y'all? Explain to them what you can and can't do. Sorry.
Yes, I share tips on LinkedIn, and then I also offer consultations on LinkedIn profiles. So LinkedIn is a whole beast.
Mhm.
And it's really all about the story you tell. If you don't have a professional story, you need to get one. And that's what I help my customers do, is basically help them tell a story that's compelling to hiring managers, to employers, so that when someone comes across your profile, they're like, yes, I want to hire Kimmoy for content design. It's a quick decision. There's no questions. They're not trying to say, you know what, Kamoy might have experience in this, so maybe they're not doing all that. They're not thinking. Okay,
Right.
they're just looking for specific keywords and a story. So, yeah, I do help with that. I also share my LinkedIn profile. You could look it up and see how I optimize it. Yeah, so definitely use that to your advantage. Don't copy my stuff, but get some inspiration.
She says if you don't have a recruiter contacting you at least twice a month, then you're doing something wrong.
That's
Talk
true.
more about that.
Yeah, I mean, twice a month is very little. If you're not getting any traction at all from a recruiter, something is wrong. So it either means you don't have a professional story, it means that you can't make up your mind on which job you want, which a lot of people don't. So they put like, I'm a project manager / sales manager / customer service / doctor. Like, no.
My doctor, Jamaican cooker.
Right. Nobody, yeah. I've
I
seen
have
some very creative LinkedIn profiles, and they're like, what's going on?
it's
You
a lot
have
of it's a lot
to,
of busyness.
it's too much. It's too much. So,
Listen, the resume, okay?
yeah.
So I went here. This is Kamoy, LinkedIn. Don't copy her, she said. Just look at it though. And she says about my goal is to improve the overall user experience and engage your users and customers to make the most of your innovative products, whether it's enterprise-wide software or mobile app. I
Yeah.
specialize in making complicated subjects. Oh wait, did I click the button? I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
My bad. Complicated subjects easy to understand and creating compelling content that gets users excited about new and exciting product features. I also have a knack for improving email open rates, click-through rates, and conversion rates. So you guys can see here, this is her about. It's very
And I
concise.
use all the space that LinkedIn gives me. I make the most of it. Right? Because think about
Yeah.
it. In your resume, you only have 1 or 2 pages to talk
Mhm.
about your experience. But on LinkedIn, you could put your skills, you can put pictures, videos, articles,
Mhm.
resumes, all the things. So anyone that's looking at me on LinkedIn, I answer most of their questions right then
Mhm.
and there, you know? So I put the skills, I maximize it, and I do not use the paid version of LinkedIn. I've never used it, so I don't have any tips there. But for me, I hear from a recruiter every week.
Man, it's crazy. Yeah,
So, and
I
I'm
like it.
not looking, by the way. So,
She's like, please stop calling me. Please stop calling me.
yeah, but when I am ready to look for something else, then it will be on and popping. I will do more. I will create content on LinkedIn if I wanted to get more attention.
Mhm.
But just statically not doing anything, I hear from a recruiter at least once a week.
I love it. I love it. Someone said I'm a grant writer. That can I transition to a technical writer? Okay, got
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, grant writing is so like you have to follow very specific steps.
Mhm.
And then you're dealing with money. So, that's knowing how to convince a company to give your company money. That's really valuable. So,
For
absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
Look, Trey said, I'm so glad I got the course when it was 197. The price, yesterday price
Dang, when did you get that?
is
That was
not
like
today price.
2018.
Okay, listen. Joe, what's the name? Fat Joe.
I
That's
mean, the
his
course
price.
is still very affordable right now,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, and
Yeah.
it's intentionally that way, because I know this is like a high demand skill set, but it
Mm-hmm.
also requires high demand output,
Yeah.
so it's not something that's easy to pick up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not as complicated as coding, but it's
Right.
like an art and a science to it. So and not a lot of people know about it. So my intention is to just make people aware about it. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're interested in it, you can use it to pursue that career or other careers, because being able to explain tech works no matter what job you have.
For real.
So yeah.
Okay. I like this on your website where you say, hold on, let's see, pull it back up. She goes, have you been applying to multiple jobs today, filling out long, boring applications and not sure if anyone sees them? This is the best part. This is the best part.
I'm
Have your
sorry, I
friends
don't
and
do that.
peers
I
looked
can't
over your
remember the
resume?
last time. I do not fill out those boring applications. That's the benefit. That's the beauty of having a really
Yeah,
good LinkedIn profile. The recruiters
girl.
reach out to me, so I don't even have to do all that. You know, yeah. I mean, who has time for that? I don't have
Girl,
time.
I use the software, the AI software that applies for you, Octoply. And they be
Yes.
like, "Did
Okay.
you
Great.
apply for
Yeah.
this?" I'd be like, maybe I did." You calling me, so of course.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh,
said, "Can
thank
I?"
God for AI, man.
For
AI has
sure.
been a blessing for sure. Even in my career, I know a lot of people were asking me, like, am I scared that AI will take over my job? Listen, the PM, let's say, for example, a product manager, just because content can be quote unquote written in AI doesn't mean that the product manager or a designer is now going to want to go to use chat gpt and all these things to create content. That's additional work for them. So
Yeah.
it's still going to be someone in charge of content, technical content. So I could use chat gpt all day if I want to, but it doesn't mean that I will actually lose my job because of it. It actually helps me. It
And they
makes my
need a
job
human
easier.
voice to it.
You have to, yeah, you have to know the company's voice. You have to know their user's voice. And like I said, all those things you could train AI to use,
Hmm.
but somebody has to do the training.
Right.
So, yeah.
Someone said, "How can I set up a consultation with you?"
Do you have the link?
I am. I've been putting it in the chat,
Yeah,
you guys. If you
yeah, it
hit that
should be.
link, keepingupwithkamoy.com, done for you.
Mhm.
The link I just put in there again. If you click that link, you can set up the appointment with her and you can get that call in and go over several
Yeah.
things.
I love doing those sessions. Even if you're not into technical writing or UX writing, I think one of the things that I'm really good at when it comes to working with people that are looking to get a new career is
Hmm.
helping them highlight their existing skills. People
Yes.
downplay their existing skills and experience so much.
Hmm.
And just by having conversations and asking, I go through a specific formula to help pull out those stories. And it's like, you did what? You did that?
Right?
And you didn't put it in your resume? Like,
I'm like,
why?
this is what you need.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to do those sessions for sure.
John said, Chat GPT can't talk stupid." But there's a space for technology for people who are not technical, correct? Like we have to write
True.
instructions and things for people who are not. So it's out there.
I mean, and think about it. Isn't it odd, right? For a career, for something as simple as writing, that
Hmm.
so many AI apps are focused on helping people write better. That goes to
Hmm.
show you how much of an in-demand skill set it is, because not many people are great at it.
Hmm.
So that's why there are so many tools trying to help people write better emails and write better presentations. Communicating is a valuable skill set.
And it can be
So
tough.
it can be hard, absolutely.
Well, Kamoy, we're not gonna keep you here all night. Talk to me. Tell me what's the lasting impression you want people to have of you, and where can they find you on the internet when you are on the internet?
I mean, I'm just here to be an inspiration, whatever you want to do,
The
travel the
Renaissance.
world,
Yes.
make money in your career. Just enjoy the work that you do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to help you along that journey. And just be confident in what you bring to the table. Be confident in your skills and find something that works for you. I mean, there has to be something, So I'm just happy to be a resource for that. If you want to get into technical writing or UX writing, I have a ton of resources to help you with that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm on Instagram occasionally.
she's a
Ah,
she's the international woman. She's a woman of mystery. She's
I,
the
I'm not,
equalizer out
I'm
there.
not. I'm an open book.
Oh, cut it out. This lady was in Mexico forever. I was like, "You're back in America?" She's like, "Girl, that was 20 years ago. What are you talking about? Get out of my face." Um. So yeah. So yes, I love it. Love it. Thank you so much for your time. I know you'd be busy, so
Thank you. I
for sure.
appreciate it. It's been fun.
And we will be putting this into the Breaking Into Tech Facebook group. We are hit finally 10,000. You guys, it's been
Awesome.
amazing. It's basically less than eight weeks. We started that tech Facebook group. It shows the desire for
Love
people
to
to want to
see
change
it.
their lives and want more. And we will post clips of this interview. We'll break it down with some AI clips, right? And we'll basically put it in there and all over. And if you guys want to reach out to Kamoy, please hit the links that I have provided for you. That is the best way to do it. Please
Yeah.
don't blow up her LinkedIn and don't blow up her DMs on Instagram. But
If
yes,
you ain't offering me a job on LinkedIn, don't try to holler over there. You got a
girl,
question.
I got
There's
200
better ways
questions
for me to answer your question on LinkedIn is where the money is at. Okay.
for
So,
sure.
yeah.
For sure. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
All
Have
right,
a
you
good
guys.
one.
This is your girl, Ericka from the Classic Climb blog. Have a wonderful evening.